We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also doing a giveaway today over on the Clock app. We'll be gifting a reading back to the collective when we get to 50K likes, so make sure that you're tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. Now, if you'd like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. But before we get started today, first and foremost, most important question: how are we doing today? Scale of 1 to 10. There are no wrong answers. We are coming out of a very intense new moon. The last 2 lunation cycles have been remarkably intense. We're going to talk a little bit about them. There's a lot of work that we're seeing that's navigating in the realm of sensitivity, in the realm of emotionality. The best way I can kind of describe this to a certain extent is, and I want to walk you through why you may be feeling this way. Capricorn new moons, Capricorn full moons often reveal old wounds, old feelings or old circumstances potentially rising up to the surface that again help us to recognize and identify what it is that we're working to heal. Now, that's hard enough, right? We already got that type of energy there to navigate, but to add to that, we also have the combination energy of moving directly from that particular type of energy into a new moon in Cancer. Okay, now the best way I can describe what we often go through when we're going through Cancer moon cycles is it's working into the context of feeling very, very vulnerable and working into the space of that vulnerability. So you already have to recognize that we've already got a lot of that vulnerability that's there with the presence of the Cancer new moon. But when the Cancer new moon is in the sign of Cancer, it feels even more. It feels even more vulnerable. It feels even more sensitive. It feels like it's raw nerve energy to a certain extent. So I want you to be conscientious about that right now, because the one thing I'm going to keep on saying this, and I was talking about this when we were going through that new moon cycle. This is the type of energy that is very valuable when it comes to being able to talk about vulnerability, to be able to have vulnerable conversations in order to build into the context of a lot of deep healing there. It can also help one understand the circumstances and situations by which you are experiencing another's coarseness, right? Now, what do we effectively identify when it comes through coarseness? Coarseness is often defined as a limitation in relationality to another person's own depth of feeling, right? Our job effectively is to allow ourselves to be able to feel the gravity or the weight of circumstances or situations, right? Working into the gravitas is often helping us to effectively identify and recognize what feels energetically important or what it is that we ourselves are capable of doing, right? It's the identification point of working into the process of expansion. But when we're experiencing situations and circumstances of navigating another's coarseness, right? That coarseness can often be identified in terms of another person or working into the context of another person that doesn't see the energetic importance of things, right? So I want you to be very conscientious about that, because sometimes we have those experiences that create that this is often, and I want to point this out, this is often the result of those who have experienced high trauma, right? Because high trauma speaks to us into the space of trying to articulate or define the fact that we should just be able to turn off our energetic feelings. But the thing about it that you must understand is there's no strength in turning off things. And we're going to keep on moving into this, because this is a continuation of the work that we see that's navigated in that Pluto, right? Pluto in Aquarius, right? This is everything this is everything that we're going to build into, right? There's no strength found in turning off things. But in fact, when we turn off things, it's often indicative of the fact that we energetically have fear towards them. So this is effectively framing a lot of the work that may be occurring right now as it relates to your own journeys, because specifically the observation, right? And this is and the reason I'm bringing it up is this is kind of the type of healing that we need to recognize that may be coming up during this time. Points of trauma in the past that potentially made one feel that having feelings was an energetic problem, right? Because our feelings, and this is the thing you have to understand, our feelings are our direction sense. They're our energetic compass point. So when another person is asking you to turn off your feelings, what they're basically asking you to do is turn off your internal compass, right? Like that's all you're basically doing. Like there you are turning off your feelings, and all you're doing is turning off your compass. So being able to effectively build into that type of work, this could be either experiencing circumstances or situations in the past where one felt that that was energetically occurring, or having to have conversations of that nature in present time. Let this be a time that you define upon the feelings, but, and I'm going to stress this right now, not allowing the feelings to energetically circumvent direction, or getting ahead of the self as it relates to the feeling of them, because you have to remember that our feelings are there to point us in the direction of where the healing needs to occur. However, when we bring too many feelings into the space by which we recognize we need to heal, that's often, right? That's often the state or nature by which we're not able to effectively navigate or work through things effectively. So, in relationality to that, and this is literally due to the fact, and I just want to point it out, we've got a lot of planets right now. We've got a lot of planets right now across all, like a good portion of the signs. We've got planets in Leo right now, we've got planets in Cancer, we've got planets in Gemini, we've got planets in Aries. What is there's like one space right now that feels like it's working through, and that's Chiron in Taurus. We've also got Neptune in retrograde, and Chiron in Taurus often works us into the observation of what it is we need to get stronger at. But in order to be strong with something, we also have to identify that we're vulnerable within it, right? That's the hard part about this energy right now. Like you can get like your capacity to get strong is only proportional to the observation of one's own vulnerability, right? Because that is what we talk about being able to effectively allow a vulnerability to become an energetic strength, right? It's not the state or nature by which we're constantly articulating upon the vulnerability, but the observation of recognizing and identifying what it is that we're trying to get stronger within, right? It's working through those emotions, it's working through those feelings, it's working through those vulnerabilities. This is all leading us into that full moon that we've got coming up shortly. But let that effectively help identify, like allow this to be a time, particularly as you're working through these lunation cycles, of this is beautiful energy coming out of this new moon in terms of building upon plans, in terms of emotional, right, observing and working into emotional investment. I'm also going to say that it's a really good energy to effectively try to build into the context of what is defined to be healed, what we ourselves are working through. There's a lot of potential internal healing that's occurring during this time. However, it can also be really, really frustrating, right? Remembering that your healing is on the other side of your frustration. But the way that we're able to fortify upon frustration is being able to articulate to another what would be energetically preferable. Now, that is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. But if you want to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. I would also encourage you to head over to my stack to learn more about our next tarot class, which is happening tonight, Thursday, July 16th at 5:30 p.m. PST. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the the two card of the minor arcana. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've experienced prior to beginning that next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions they may have in relation to anything we've learned or studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive, as well as the opportunity of receiving a one-on-one assessment with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I've tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletters there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule, and my mystic meditation articles, which give you updates on everything we've been seeing energetically in the cards. I just wrote one recently on this new moon that we just went through. I'll be having one out shortly on the full moon we've got coming up. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute reads, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey at a discount, as well as dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. Now, if you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. But let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you personally, because it is going to hit everyone just a little bit differently. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective reads in the next few. We are going to get started on personal reads in the next few minutes. We are prioritizing those who got on the list prior to beginning today's reading. So we've got two individuals that have priority before we move into one cards. And then we've got, I'm going to go ahead and read the list as well. Also going to point out that I'm keeping the list very short today. So if you would like to get on the list, I would encourage you to get on the list sooner rather than later. For those who are joining us over on the place where we keep the videos, you can also get on the list today via my tree that has links in it in my bio. And please keep in mind that if you become a paid member over there, you are eligible to the same benefits that we've articulated for Superfam, which means a free one card each day and the discounted rate on donation readings. How are you doing? Thank you so much, Kenji, for the follow. I appreciate you. Hi, Nikki. Good to see you. Welcome today, Grand Rising, Alexandra, and thank you for those heart me's. Good to see you today, Ivana. Thank you for those lightning bolts, dear. Good to see you as well. Oh, thank you for the compliment, Nikki. I appreciate you. Excellent. Hi there, Mrs. Bobler. We are doing tarot readings today. We're going to be getting started on personal shortly. And thank you so much for those jewels, Kashi. Hope you're having an absolutely lovely day. All right, one moment, please. Chabu, I'm sending you so much support on that journey. One of the things I need to say is the ability to effectively help to identify or recognize what we're healing from. That's the space by which you yourself are. I want you to stay committed in terms of being able to write down what an ideal relationship looks like for you to help you kind of move forward on that healing. And again, if you'd like to have a reading on it, I'm definitely here to have a reading on that. If you get on the list right now, you will be the 5th person read for. All right. Thank you so much, Isabella. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And welcome, Kay. I hope you're having a beautiful day as well. Hi there, Sunia. Hope you're having a blessed day as well. Excellent. How you doing today, Tazzy? Oh, this happened to you yesterday. I'm sending you so much support on it, Nikki. Mm-hmm. We want to avoid like those type of energies, like a lot of those emotions right now, like allowing it to effectively center the self. It's going, like with energy like this, it's potentially going to happen, but our ability to stay centered as we navigate it is what effectively helps us to identify what feels like it's working. Absolutely. Nikki, did you, yes, I can absolutely add you to the list from yesterday. Excellent. And we've got 5 more spots available today. Actually, I'm going to be keeping the list somewhat short today. So I feel I'm going to be closing the list right now. So if anybody wants to get on the list for tomorrow, you can do so. And you will have we are going to be potentially, we're going to be tomorrow. We might be on a little bit later, but only prioritizing 1 cards. So if you would like to get on the list for tomorrow, you can get on the list and you will be prioritized. We'll be going on a little bit later tomorrow. Absolutely. I know that I told you this new moon in Cancer was going to bring a lot of vulnerability up. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Julia. And I want to point out, I want to point out, like, lit up is better than blown up, is the best way I can describe it. You know? Absolutely. And thank you for the follow. How you doing today, BB? I got you on the list, dear. So good to see you guys. Make sure to give BB some love. Reader supporting readers. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Excellent. Oh, appreciate it. And how you doing today, Don? Welcome. All right, we are going to get started on today's daily on personal readings. As I mentioned, the individuals who were on the list before we started today's read will have priority. So that means the first individuals we have on the list today, the first individual reading for today is Thea. Thea, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Hi there. How you doing today, dear? Oh, perfect. Can you let me know if you'd like to do a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And thank you for that tip, Donald. If you'd like a one card reading, I'm happy to do so. Appreciate that. Just let me know what your question is. Please remember, anyone who becomes a super fan or a paid member always automatically gets a one card. And before we get started on Thea's reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle cards here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got the eagle. Thank you for letting me. Thank you guys for participating. We'll do that again with in the next reading. And I'm going to pin up Thea here. Guys, make sure to give Thea some love. Oh. Can I get 4 cards, please? And thank you for your patience on the reading. You'll be getting an additional card today. I feel like I'm navigating or seeing a very it feels like I think you kind of recognize that there's a guide that's potentially aspiring to end, like that wants to work with you to some capacity is what I'm seeing here. And it's interesting. It's interesting too. Yeah, that's confirmation there. The thing about it that I'm potentially identifying is working into or navigating the context of your own process of energetic expansion. I'm not there's been some kind of change here. And I feel like some of the change that I see has been occurring is it feels like you're letting go or releasing some kind of anxiety as it relates to holding on to things, right? And and thank you for the confirmation on it, because here's the thing about it. The word that's coming through is like there's a false illusion of lack that I basically see you working to energetically release, right? Like that's what I'm effectively identifying there, that false illusion of lack. But the hard part about it that I'm seeing is at the same time, I'm just going to give you what's coming up on this, and you can kind of let me know what's connecting, because the thing about it is, the hard part about it is, if there wasn't a lack, then you're observing another person's greed. You know? that's what I'm energetically seeing there. Like that's the thing that feels like that's the hard part about it, because I feel like there's something about that that feels right. Like there's a little, like I almost feel like I see you like taken aback by something, you know? And the thing about it is like, and it says to me like taken aback for good reason, right? Because that is the like the observation. It feels like the observation of having to articulate to another what you yourself have energetically observed related to circumstances or situations. And I'm getting that there's something, it feels like there's something there that's very important and valuable in terms of working into our own sense of of frustration on things. And I keep on getting this because there's a lot of this emotionality that I'm seeing there. And a lot of that emotionality that I'm basically seeing there is working into the observation of energetic awareness, or working into the context of being able to articulate or speak to another in terms of how one is effectively being able to identify or communicate. So first of all, let that serve as confirmation that you like that like the guide feels like the guide appreciates the fact that everything you're doing is not only, I see it's like not only are you working through things, but you're working through things in such a way that you're trying to effectively communicate to another what feels energetically important or significant. And even in the context of I see you doing that, like trying to effectively articulate upon one's own sense of frustration, let that effectively fortify you. Now, in terms of in terms of what you yourself are doing, like, and I want to kind of give you, like, I feel like the guides are looking at a situation where you're holding on to anger, or you're allowing the release of anger into something that feels significantly more like, and it's saying to me like the thing about it, and I'll just kind of tell you what I'm seeing here. anger Anger for the past often can create the space by which we're not able to effectively identify or work through something in the way that we ourselves energetically aspire to, right? And I feel like what's hard about that is I almost see I almost see you trying to heal from someone who effectively tried to limit your own perspective on things, right? And there can be a lot of feelings there. There can be a lot of emotionality that effectively rises up in the context of those emotions. But even in the space by which we're working through something emotionally, I want you to understand that the work that you're doing, right? The reason that the reason that the guide is coming towards you is because of the observation of you yourself working towards transparency, right? And I want you to effectively, I want to get a book for you too, because um, I keep on getting the best, like the best thing that you can do at this time is working through, right, working through transparency. Or, and it's interesting too because, and I think that it's interesting because this guide, right, it feels like it feels like an angelic that brings transparencies to things. And the thing about it is, not only are you working on your transparency, but I feel like you're probably observing the fact that you're seeing the transparency of others, right? Like you're seeing like you're seeing like, right? And the worst part about that is, and here's the thing that's important around it. And I'm going to give you some bottom of the deck. Um, this is what's so frustrating. This is what's so frustrating when you're in the context of working through others' transparency is um, it basically says to me like there's no nefarious energy around you, right? Because the observation of working through what feels energetically nefarious is often like let that be your clarity, because the thing about it is um I keep on seeing circumstances or situations of building into energetic frustration, but not just the fact that you're building into frustration, but you're communicating your frustration to others. And so I want to kind of tell you this because um I feel like the guide is coming towards you by helping you see things that you couldn't see before. Right? The guide is like, so let that and so the thing about it is when another person when another person is transparently um when another person is being that transparent, it can be beautiful, right? Like that's what's so incredible about it. And I feel like you're probably seeing that to a certain extent, right? The beauty of others that work into a space of transparency that allows for the capacity or the ability of being able to recognize or identify the shape or nature of their own heart space. But the hard part is, and I think that you're probably identifying this, um, there are those that do not. There are either those who are working through things um, specifically because um, specifically because they have the confidence to do so. I'm going to say this to you, and I think that this is really important because I feel like there's something about this that's going to give you confirmation in terms of you connecting with a guide. When energy is afraid of things, when individuals are afraid for things, they're easily put, they're easily, right? They're easily threatened, right? Which is the observation of another person. Like fear directs things. And when I say fear directs things, it's the observation of others that effectively are put up to do things that they don't necessarily aspire to do, but that another person articulates that they must do in order to energetically appease them. And I think that that's really important. There's something about that message that I feel I need to share with you. And I feel like it's something that you yourself have been connecting to. And I'm going to repeat it, right? When another person is energetically afraid, they will effectively do whatever another person says if it means that they are able to feel energetically included in something. So I want you, like, there's something about that I think is very important and necessary as it relates to something that you're receiving from your guide in the form of affirmation. Okay? Don't don't if there's and let that serve as your confirmation, because it just keeps on saying like this is why we work to clear ourselves of fear, right? Because when we are not clear of fear, we're very inclined to others effectively saying like do this or else, right? So let that be something to help, you through your healing journey in relationality to some of that frustration or fear or healing that you're observing or experiencing, so that you yourself can do something. Like I feel like you I know that you're not susceptible to it, right? Because, and that's the hard part about it, like when we have confidence in ourselves, we're often like or else. Like we say like I'll take or else, thank you. Like I'll tell you what, like that's what I kind of see to a certain extent. But allow yourself to have compassion for those that are still working through finding that sense of energetic confidence. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Thea. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is closed today, but you can get on the list for tomorrow and you'll have first priority, which means you will be read for before we move into one cards or daily collective. If I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Absolutely. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing about it is, yep. Hi there, Bolton. So the one cards are done once we are going to be done once we finish those who had priority on the list today. So we've got 2 individuals who are on the list before we're going to be moving into one cards. Thank you for confirmation, Thea. Mm-hmm. This was a personal reading, Justice. Yeah, thank you for confirmation. And Dada, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Jamie, thank you for becoming a super fan. Excellent. And thank you for those who are joining us over on the place. Excellent. All right, I'm going to confirm and just be clear for those who are effectively joining us on the place where we keep the videos. Welcome. I have a very firm rule about posting non sequiturs. You have to be communicating in the form of full thought forms, because when you post non sequiturs, you're effectively creating a fear-based narrative, because others, it creates confusion and others might not necessarily understand you. So if you proceed to continue to post non sequiturs, please keep in mind that I will go ahead and proceed to mute and block you for this reason. Thank you, and I appreciate you guys allowing for the chat space to be one of open and helpful communication. How you doing today, Kayla? I'm doing well. I hope you're having a lovely day. Excellent, and welcome, Jasmine. Hope you're having a beautiful day as well. Excellent. All right, just bear with me a moment. And again, when I articulate non sequiturs, I mean random words that others can't understand, or also making quotations in terms of, it's basically jargon. I also, you know what, Thea, I'm going to keep it there for a minute too, because I feel it's interesting too, because remember how, there's something very informative about the fact that I'm articulating upon the desire for transparency. And even in the space by which we were effectively working through that, like having to work through, like you being able to navigate others just kind of throwing confusion at you, but being able to kind of see through it clearly. All right, thank you so much, dear, and sending you so much support on your journey. The next person that we are reading for today is going to be, what do we got here? The next person we're reading for today is going to be Alexandra. Alexandra, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general, and like that's the thing. And I want to point out, I need to say this, Thea. Often when we're coming into towards our guides, I feel like there are those that try to be conscientious of anyone that's trying to like lure you with like ubiquity. Like, don't you want to learn more? Being like, that's not that's what I keep on seeing. Like the guide is helping you perceive those that are trying to lure you with ubiquity. So I hope that helps too, because I feel like that's very important to your message. I want to I'm gonna make a note for you here if you come back, because you're gonna have a book. I need to write that down, because that's coming through strongly from your guide. Yeah, like don't be lured, don't be swayed from your person, don't be swayed from your purpose by those who are trying to lure you with ubiquity. Okay. Excellent. All right. And thank you so much, dear, and sending you so much support on that journey. All right. Where were we? Hi there, Alexandra. Welcome, dear. Oh, you're so welcome, Lana. I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. Excellent. All right, we're going to continue right now. The next person that we are reading for is, and as I mentioned, Donald, if you would like a one card for that gift that you sent, I just need to know the question that you have. I'll be happy to draw one card for you. And just bear with me a moment. Yeah, I'm going to read the list right now for those who are on the list. The list is closed. All right, the list I have right now is Alexandra, Chris, Julia, and Nikki. Okay? And if anybody else wants to get on the list, you'll be read for tomorrow. Excellent. Thank you for checking, Nikki. All right, thank you for letting me know where the question is, Alexandra. Elena, we've got a strict rule about non sequiturs. So if you'd like to, I can see that you're posting one question there, but if you'd like to get on the list today, the list is closed. We will be doing one cards for those. Anyone who would like a one card will be doing the one cards after the next reading. So if you're sticking around for one cards, we'll be starting them next. If you'd like to if you'd like to receive a one card, you just need to become either a super fan or a paid subscriber over on the place where we keep the videos. Okay. And thank you for also becoming a, oh my gosh, you got so many cards coming out, Donald. Hold on a minute. And thank you for becoming a paid member. So the thing I'm seeing in relationality to overcoming obstacles right now is working to address, it's working into the space of being able to focus and prioritize on healthy relationship is what I'm seeing. Make sure that your priorities are in check as it relates to fostering or supporting healthy partnerships around the self, because I feel like that's in terms of the changes arriving, that's where I see a lot of that healing to be, right? But I keep on seeing being very focused and empathetic as it relates to another individual's own sense of, like it says to me, you have to hold another person's worries like one would one's own. So make sure that you're having conversations of that nature. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, here's the thing about it, right? I feel like there's someone around you that potentially feels like, make sure that you're being clear to others about the state and nature of relationship, and particularly and especially with this fox energy, because it's saying to me, that I don't know where your Pisces placements are, but especially I often see this with those who have like Pisces and Cancer, really working into the space of being able to articulate what another person means to help move things forward, right? So make sure others understand not only what they mean to you, but what that relationship is, right? No ubiquity as it relates to the nature of a relationship. So Bolton, we offer one cards to those who immediately become super fans. We're going to be starting the one cards once we complete this reading. How you doing today, Avatar? Welcome. All right. Now let's continue. The next person we're reading for today is going to be Alexandra. Bear with me one moment. Okay. All right, there's some inside tea on this reading, so I'm going to read it before it's inside tea, so I need a moment to read over this before we start the reading. But as we wait, I'm going to give you guys a hearth warmer, something to discuss as I'm reading. So, what are you doing right now to bring positive change to circumstances or situations that are working to energetically frustrate you? So, The observation of something that you're doing differently as opposed to what you would have done previously. How you doing today, Mandy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And before we continue with this reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the raven. We'll do that again after the next reading. And can I get 4 cards, please? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I need to point out something that's very important. And I think that to a certain extent, you've already articulated um, something in relationality to the nature of a relationship that needs to be energetically addressed. Okay? And the word I'm seeing is the identification point of identifying the word confronting. Okay? And here's the thing about it. Um, it's very it's very difficult, right? It's very difficult to be able to articulate, right? Our feelings are felt in such a way that to be able to articulate and identify on feelings is often a misnomer, right? Because you'll often see, right? You'll often see the question that we should have when it comes to relationships isn't the nature of identifying how we feel, but what it is, but what we aspire for with one another in relationality to partnership. And the observation of working through, right? The observation of working through the understanding that feelings change, right? When we are building into relationship with one another, we cannot force We cannot force feelings. We allow feelings to flourish. We allow the observation of feelings to effectively flourish, because that is how feelings can grow. And you'll often see what often happens in the context of those with a lot of anxiety, or those that carry insecurity related to feelings, the identification of pressing, right? The identification of pressing another to articulate upon feelings instead of discussing the nature of relationship. It's often the space by which another person doesn't realize that they themselves, right? They themselves are creating the circumstances by which they can pull away, right? And you are observing, you are observing the shape of another's wound, right? You're seeing it, you are seeing exactly what this individual does, right? And what do we see that the individual does? They articulate, and here's the thing, they articulate, instead of saying, what is it that you aspire for in relationship, right? The identification point of discussing intention, they instead are basically interrogating, right? They're interrogating your emotions. And your emotions, right? In the moment, right? In the moment that another person asks how we feel, right? It immediately feels like an emotional interrogation, because it feels like you have to ask yourself, what do they like? It's the understanding of recognizing and asking yourself, what would be, right? What would be a productive conversation around that? What are they aspiring to energetically hear, right? It's not, it creates, it's literally, yeah, exactly. Do you see how convenient it is? It's convenient because it's somebody trying to create problems in an energetic relationship. Because if they don't know what they energetically aspire to hear, but they're basically saying that, what they're really saying to you, what they're really communicating to you is, I'm questioning, right? I'm questioning whether you truly care about this, right? Like, that is the question beyond the question in terms of identifying or asking someone how they feel about us. It's not a productive question, specifically because it doesn't, there's no answer that feels like it can energetically contain our feelings. So pay attention, right? Make sure that those conversations are invested in direction, because what you're basically seeing is, you're seeing an individual you've isolated the problem of someone who has a tendency of creating self-created problems in partnership, wherein everything is going perfectly fine, right? Did you see the fact that you guys were moving into alignment and things were going so smoothly, but instead of allowing something to happen organically, they've effectively, right? They've effectively they put that question mark there, that is really them projecting the fact that they themselves are not energetically sure. So your observation of effectively identifying that is basically asking, like, make sure that you redirect the question with a question, which is basically to say to them, what are you looking for? Right? What are you looking for in asking that question? Because it's it's the observation, right? And I keep on seeing this, right? Somebody who has not necessarily articulated upon what the intention is. So reorient if that's occurring, because there's two different modalities by which that could be occurring. There's the modality by which the individual themselves don't realize that their insecurity is accidentally spoiling relationship, okay? Or there's someone who intentionally does that because they realize that in the space by which they ask a question that has there's no proper answer for it, then they're basically creating their own escape hatch from partnership. So your ability to refocus the conversation as it relates to healthy direction is what is effectively going to help you see, right? It helps you be able to define and see whether they themselves are truly ready for a relationship, or if their insecurity, right? If their insecurity is insurmountable, right? If their insecurity is insurmountable in the context of them perpetually questioning what is energetically happening. So let that, I keep on getting the same message, and this is your guides, like this is both of your guides potentially articulating upon that. What is the unification of direction? What is the observation in relationality to what that direction is, or whether like what they themselves aspire it to be? So let that not be a question that feels like, don't feel like the question needs to be answered in terms of being able to articulate the nature of feelings, because but rather let it be a reorientation on focusing on direction, right? Because I keep on hearing it's very convenient, right? It's very convenient to ask a question that has no proper answer, because you can extract from it anything that you're aspiring for as it relates to building into one's own sense of energetic insecurity. And I think that this is really valuable and important, because I'm not sure if I feel like I see someone around you that may have, like I keep on seeing, especially if you notice somebody who has a lot of experiences of relationship that feel like they're short-lived, right? Like especially if you notice a tendency of many short-lived partnerships, this you could be potentially seeing, right? This is you potentially seeing the reason, because we don't interrogate each other's feelings, right? We articulate upon our own and see how another person feels about them, right? Like it's not, it's like it's saying to me like, pay attention to a feelings interrogation, because a feelings interrogation is often nebulous and creates insecurity in stable structures, right? It's like, why, where is this coming from? Why are you articulating it? So make sure that you're able to identify the healthy direction, not someone potentially, trying to make something feel energetically unstable. And I'm going to articulate this again. They might not necessarily recognize that this is what they do when they ask questions like that. So your ability to effectively identify or articulate that, right? Let that fortify the shape of what it is that you're feeling. Okay? Let that be the energetic communication point in terms of understanding that when we, and even in the space by which you articulated, um, that the like the like there's a couple of there's some, I'm gonna send you a message offline, because it feels to me, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna send the rest of this message. I'm gonna send you offline, because I think you, like, it's coming directly from your guides. Okay, and it has to do with warning. Like, um, yeah, it has to do. Yeah, I'll send it to you privately. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. The list is closed today, but if you'd like to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the first person read for, which means you'll have priority before we start the daily collective. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Hmm. Okay, perfect. And thank you for sharing the live, Rachel, and thank you for the follow. But it's not, it's the space, but yeah, exactly. You saw, like, that's the uncertainty, right? It's a projected uncertainty of working through that. But here's the thing about it, And this is why your guides are saying, like, your ability to identify what, like, refocus towards what the aspiration is, right? Reorient towards a direction, because this could either be one of two different things, is what I keep on seeing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But here's the thing about it. Like, I want to tell you, like, and this is what you understand, right? Um, in, like, even in a healthy relationship, and this is the thing about it, you can often tell. In a healthy relationship, it's a strange question to turn to another and say, "How do you feel about me?" Right? Because it should be self-evident. It should be self-evident. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. No, I understand. I've got you, dear. You're so welcome. Yeah, just bring it back to the core question and let that see if, how that purifies the conversation. That question, that question will purify the conversation, which saying, this is what I aspire for us. And Angelo, thank you for the follow. How you doing today, Bridget? Excellent. Hi there from Indonesia. Welcome. Excellent. All right, let's continue right now. The next person we're reading for today is going to be Chris. Chris, if you're here. Oh, actually, wait, we're doing one cards first. So we're going to be moving into one cards right now. So if you are a, and I need to point out for those, again, I'm going to stress this to those who are joining us on the place where we keep the videos, the chat space that we find in the place where we keep the videos. I've got the same rules as Yashua, which means as long as you're coming here from a place of compassion and love and you're willing to be here as we're working through these questions, then you're willing to stay. But if you're going to try to articulate that anyone here, if you're going to try to cast judgment, then you yourself are actually moving oppositional to what Yahshua was teaching. And I won't allow you to be able to articulate that you're trying to hurt another in their name, because that's literally what Yahshua asked you not to do. So you're welcome to stay. But if you're going to continue to be in a space by which you're trying to cast judgment, that's you effectively trying to, you are effectively the force of radicalization, and I will have to energetically remove you, because we're creating a safe space here for those who are in need of compassion and healing. And I hope you find the healing that you seek on the journey, and understand that we don't weaponize our faith to try to hurt each other, but to unify in terms of it. I have an organization, I have a movement called Tarot Church, that it basically teaches the fact that a lot of the messages that we find in the tarot are not antithetical to a faith practice. They're very similar and harmonious to one. And being able to understand the tarot does not move you further away from a faith construct. In fact, it'll probably build a deeper connection to your faith if you're able to understand what is being taught there. For that space, I'd also like to remind you that we have a tarot class tonight where we'll be exploring those themes in you can sign up for that over on my stack, and we're going to be starting that class at 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Excellent. All right, let's continue. How you doing today, Alice? Excellent. Good. All right, I've got you. Julia, one card highest and best in regards to pet. I feel like the thing is, like, I think it's interesting because I feel like it's in relationality to move. And I feel like I see something there where that animal, like, it, they trust your direction sense, right? Like, this energy here is very much a spiritual protector for you. So I feel like I know that you might have concerns in relationality to movement, but I don't see somebody, like, the truth is, like, here's the thing about it, like, they want you to be where you feel most harmonious, right? I think you've probably noticed that they can read your energy and your anxiety levels. Like, I feel like they can recognize the fact that something that you've been navigating has had them on high alert too, because Animal Oracle, yeah, I keep on identifying um, particularly in terms, like the word I keep on seeing, and I think that you kind of understand this. Um, there's something about you working through an energetic learning curve that's allowing you, like, I feel like there's a process around you that's being energetically expedited, specifically and particularly because you've got healthy direction sense, right? And something that we identify in relationality to that work, it's not easy, but like they're there with you every step of the way. I got you, Laurel. Good to see you today, dear. And guys, make sure to give Laurel some love. Readers supporting readers. We've got the Five of Pentacles in its upright. I feel like the best way you can energetically, like, the thing about it, and I think that you kind of know this, we can't, it's not the space by which we can make things perfect, but being able to help another person identify landscape, right? And the thing about it is there's actually the work that we're able to identify or recognize has to do through observation and helping them understand what they're seeing. Bottom of the deck, the truth of it is, and I think that you kind of understand this, it would be nice to assume that everybody has the best intentions, but there are those that often have the wrong priorities, right? And helping them understand that another person having the wrong priorities is not their responsibility, right? Let it just fortify their own energetic direction as they know, as in terms of what they know is energetically best for them, or helping to observe in terms of what is necessary there. Animal Oracle, yeah, particularly with the ram energy. Um, the thing about it is I keep on getting it's speaking a lot to me related to observe, don't absorb, right? If somebody is showing you that they are cruel, right? Let that be information. If somebody's showing you that they lack compassion, or even more so that they lack, if somebody shows that um they lack consistency, then that in itself is also important information. So helping them be able to understand, and I feel like it's hard because I almost see somebody who's like very logical like you. Unfortunately, there are others, right? There are others that put, I keep on hearing, helping them understand that there are those who put logic aside for the sake of ambition is also, it's painful to see, but it's also energetically important, right? So let that kind of fortify an observation there. One card on your one pet reading for Bridget, please. Are they recovering from something? I feel like I see them recovering from something, but they're saying it's nothing. Yeah, they're saying it's nothing if there's something there. Um, yeah, especially with this, like, I don't know if you've been worried about them, but it says to me like I see that energy um working, like that energy is doing a lot right now to kind of purify the energy around you. And the thing about it is, um there's something about that I'm seeing where they themselves, like, it's hard because they're going like, don't worry about it, because it's like basically they're articulating, if it was something serious they would energetically tell you. But it feels to me like them working through, like, I don't know why, but I feel like they've ascertained, or they got, it feels like, it's interesting, I'm just gonna tell you what I'm reading for. It feels like them effectively, like, um do you remember the dream where you had the identification point of that, like, there was something about a hole, right? Like, it says to me like they're almost articulating that they've resolved it, they figured out what that was, and they've energetically dealt with it, is what I keep on getting. Lucas, thank you for the follow. And for anybody joining us over on the place where we keep the videos. If you'd like to become a paid member, I'm happy to draw a card for you. Excellent. Thank you so much. And just bear with me a moment. Okay. Hi there, Kayla. Okay. So again, I need to point out, Kayla, we never look to the tarot to make decisions for us, but rather to get advice around the decisions that we're making. I got you, dear. All right, can I get one card for Kayla, please? One card for Kayla. Um, it's interesting because it says to me, it says have a conversation about it. If there's somebody else involved, bring them in on the conversation to see what would effectively work best for them. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with this Four of Cups in its upright. What we're identifying there is working into, like, have the conversation with them. Bring them into the conversation sooner rather than later in terms of talking about the positives or negatives, in terms of identifying what would be most supportive, right? It's not necessarily an isolated decision, but something that you can do in a unified manner. And I feel like it's interesting because it feels like the ability to give someone some kind of it's giving somebody it's helping somebody understand and work through unified responsibility is what I keep on seeing. You're so welcome, Kayla. And thank you so much for that gift, Lamar. I'm happy to draw a card for you, one card related to a situation. Don't listen to what others say. You know, the thing about it is if you don't hear something directly from someone, don't believe what another person is saying about something. You know, because here's the thing about it. Yeah, like especially with this Four of Cups, bottom of the deck, right? It's very easy for others to effectively utilize us to do things to serve their purposes by saying things that just aren't true, right? So don't believe, and here's the thing about it, like, don't get upset if something is upsetting you. Go to the source, right? Don't get in a fight about it. Go on a quest. Is what I keep on saying. Go on a take it, don't let somebody get you stirred up, right? Just be, accept the quest, right? Like, accept the quest. Absolutely, and thank you, dear. How you doing today, GP? Welcome there, Nana. If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. All right, let's continue right now. You're so welcome, Bridget. Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, like that. You remember I told you they're trying to articulate that something isn't a big deal, but it's interesting because it says to me like they have a tendency of dismissing things that aren't important, but like it's not, it's like it says to me, it's like they don't need to feel like it's hard because like I feel like the energy being like it's not necessary, being like it is though. All right, let's continue right now. Okay, we're going to move back into, if there's no other one cards right now, we're going to be moving back into readings. Happy to read the list for you right now. I got you, Ruby. Can you re-ask your question, dear? Hi there. How you doing today, Inan? Or Ina? If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, by all means, please feel free to correct me. One card on finances. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot this month, but just be effectively like recognize in terms of what it is that you might need to pull back on is what I keep on seeing. Yeah, like it says to me like, like if this month was a lot, see if you can bring something back into balance next month by being able to I just keep on getting like it says to me, like this is a good month for you to be planning or budgeting in terms of what you need on a consistent basis. So make sure that you're leaving this month with that number, right? I feel like it's because I feel like you bringing that to another person, because I feel like there's some kind of opportunity coming towards you that might help you reach that number better. Absolutely. Yep, you can definitely get your one card, Bolton, if you could let me know if you're doing a general or if you have a specific question. I got you, creative. One card on career, please. Two cards, bottom of the deck. It's like it's saying to me, avoid partnerships right now. I feel like I see a bunch of energy trying to partner with you. Be able to effectively hold healthy boundaries in terms of what it is you can do, right? In terms of what it is that you can do in a positive way versus like what you might be available for later, right? So it says like it feels like there's something important about you doing something from a point of like I just keep on seeing like you doing something from a point of stabilization, and it's like I think that in terms of that, like animal oracle, yeah, like it says to me like the thing about it is partnership is all about healthy boundaries. So if you've already seen somebody who has a tendency of not being respective, or I keep on hearing like effectively trying like not giving somebody who has a tendency of um not giving credit where it's due, like let that energy, let that information fortify you. One moment, please. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Yep. And one card for Avatar, please. Avatar, like don't if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, just make a prioritized list, right? Everything is going to get done in the order that you need to get it done, and the energy that wants to work with you will be respective of it, right? Um, Particularly and especially, like I feel like I see you dealing with someone trying to articulate, um, like it feels to me like you kind of having to work through the difference between another person trying to articulate upon, um, like don't listen to another person's opinions in terms of how you do things unless they're effectively helping you with them, right? If another person isn't helping you with them, their opinions, like let them stew in their opinions, right? Because they're like it's very easy to have opinions in the wake of seeing somebody actually doing something. Mm-hmm. Ava, one card on the journal prompt for today. Ooh, I love it. How are you allowing your vulnerability to become your greatest strength? And how are you honoring the journey of what you yourself have experienced to allow for different outcomes? Animal oracle, right? The ability to be able to amplify or articulate upon our emotions allows us to be able to pave the way for better outcomes. So, allowing yourself to be able to fully embody and embrace those emotions and saying, how can those emotions become, right? How can you embody the force that would allow things to be different? Right? Letting that difference energetically guide in terms of what it is that you're trying to do or how you're trying to effectively. I feel like there's something there that very healing, but it's requiring a lot of emotionality in terms of your own feelings about it. So it's allowing the emotions to be put in places that feel like they're most productive. You're so welcome, dear. One card, general, relating to someone being true. I got you. Can I get an energetic read on that person? Allow your healthy direction to guide you, right? it feels like somebody who might be true, but they have a tendency of navigating from a point of insecurity, right? So helping, right, particularly with the Nine of Pentacles in its reversal, right? When we feel like we identify insecurity in others, all we can do is effectively navigate by articulating and trying to give someone confidence in terms of their own ability. Animal Oracle, yeah, particularly and especially with the eagle, that observation of energetically working through things. But like basically I feel like the state and nature that you need is being able to say to another person, what do you need? How can I help? What can we do? Like, what can we do to allow something to be the best thing possible? And your ability of giving, like your ability of giving another those resources will tell you everything you need to know about whether that is someone that is energetically reliable, or someone that is effectively looking like, or somebody that is looking for reasons not to be able to do things, right? So make sure that you're giving tools and seeing what another person does with them. One card in career for Jamie, please. I feel like this is you looking terms in terms of having a healthy environment. You know, it keeps on saying environment is key. So bottom of the deck on this, not like, I feel like it's also like paying attention to the an environment where others are not over pouring into a career space, right? Because there's, it says to me like there's some career spaces that try to identify that the career space has to be the sole priority. A healthy a workspace is one that understands that it should work. Like, I feel like this is you helping others with their own confusion as it relates to how they're doing things. So um, I feel like there's also a learning path here opening up for you. So it almost says to me the only, like, I'll put it this way, the only way, like the only way you should be navigating what would be identified as a toxic environment is if there's something valuable that you see as like something that you receive being within it, that's going to allow you to energetically heal it, if that makes sense, right? Don't stick around in a space unless you know that there's going to be the opportunity to be able to heal what you yourself are experiencing if it doesn't feel like it's ideal. I got you, Alexandra. One card, highest priority on today. Um, I want you focusing with what your purpose is, right? And I feel like the thing about it is helping, like, I feel like the question you need to ask things that come towards you today is, are they serving your purpose or are they standing in the way of it, right? And again, like, especially in relationality to remembering, like, opportunity and purpose are different things, right? So there are different ways that we can reach our purpose, but being able to identify, like I keep on saying, make sure that you have your aspiration there to allow for what feels energetically possible, right? Let that fortify you as it relates to healthy direction. Absolutely. Thank you, Avatar. Rainbow. Mm-hmm. Um, I just see somebody who's extremely busy. Every time I read for this person, I just see them trying to effectively do everything right now. I don't really see this person concentrating on others. Like, in terms of that, I see somebody that's working into the space of having a lot to do. Yeah, especially with the hangman. It's not giving me the energy. It's not giving me the energy of like, I don't know if this is someone, I don't know if this is something that you've spoken to another person about, but I see somebody who goes through these seasons of busyness where they have to put, like, I keep on seeing, like, they just have, like, some things we do require all of our attention in order to see them through. So I just keep on seeing someone that's going through a very busy season, and they're just out of spoons at the end of the day, if that helps. You're so welcome, Bolton. You're so welcome, Ava. Melissa, one card on, oh, your guides are proud of you, right? You weren't rude. Yeah, especially with this Five of Cups. You know, like I feel like it's you kind of identifying some kind of energetic cycle and just not being, yeah, I almost see you saying like, right, that like it says to me like your ability to effectively see what feels like it's productive versus returning you back into something that feels like it's energetically not changing is you effectively doing what you recognize is energetically best, right? And so I feel like there's something important there because I feel like it's like I feel like your guide's saying like is was that you doing your best to bless the situation? And if so, like let that serve as further confirmation. I feel like you already know that, you know? Yeah. All right. I wasn't seeing, you know, if it's any consolation, Rainbow, I wasn't seeing somebody thinking about, like, I just see somebody who's working and focused very much on the present. Excellent. How you doing today, dear? So Nay, these are one card readings for super fans or paid members. So if you'd like to become a paid member, I'm happy to draw a card for you. Excellent. Yep. And the same thing, mental. Hi there, Ryan. Oh, a Gemini and a Virgo together. I mean, because like you guys just have very different ways of going about things. Okay. Virgo's like, let's keep it small. And Gemini's like, I invited everybody. Absolutely. And thank you so much for those, Jules. I appreciate you, mental. All right, let's continue right now. All right, so we're going to continue right now, moving back into personals. The next person we're reading for today is BB. BB, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. It's a good question, Miguel. Yeah, I mean, astrology. I mean, I'm of the opinion I do pet readings here, and there is import astrologically, particularly when it comes to our pets. Absolutely, Julia. Happy to read the list. We've got Chris, Julia, and Nikki. So, and the list is closed today. So, if you want to get on the list, if you want to get on the list if you want to get on the list for tomorrow, you'll have first priority. Excellent. And we're still available to do one cards. Thank you for the compliment, I can. All right, I've got you here. And before we continue with BB's read, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the Animal Oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the adder. All right, I'm going to pin up BB here, guys. Make sure to give BB some love. All right. You've got an ancestor that's so upset about something. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. All right, 1 minute. Sorry, I hate this. I know. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm going to say something to you, and I think you need to write it down, because it feels to me like the type of energy that someone's trying to throw at you. Okay? And you know what the energy is? Go on, Hulk, smash. Right? I want you to write those words down. I want you to write those words down. Okay? Every time. Okay? Every time something like this happens, I want you to look at those words. Okay? Because the thing you have to understand is it's the go on in front of it. Right? Right? It's saying to me, like, don't let somebody, and here's the thing about it, right? Because somebody can start a story at any moment they aspire to. And it's really easy, right? It's really easy to start a story. I keep wondering, it's really easy to start a story in the middle of the fire, but not talking about the match that energetically lit it, right? It's very, look how easy it is. It's very easy to identify or work through, right? Look at someone that's trying to start a story at the moment of a fire and not identifying the energetic match that they themselves were effectively doing over and over and over again. I know, and here's the thing about I know it's not fair, right? Right, yeah, pay attention. Like someone to incense you, right? Someone to incense you is going to effectively do the most unfair things on the planet. And then when you react to it, they're going to go there. You see, that's why I was unfair in the first place. You see there? You see? Right? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right? Like that type. I know. It's so, I know. Don't let somebody use those Aries placements against you. Right? And I know, and here's the thing about it. Um, you've got somebody in spirit that's incredibly proud of you. Okay? And the other thing I'm seeing, the thing you have to understand is all we can do is all we can do is give others opportunities to be their best self, right? Every moment, right? Pay attention to the difference. And because I already see somebody else around this is able to identify it. The difference between energy, right? Energy that's always looking for a reason, right? Energy always looking for a reason is always, right, setting someone up for an energetic disaster versus the work that we do that builds into positivity, that is trying to do everything we can to make something energetically better, right? And that, like what basically, like, this is, you know, this is the energy I see somebody in, right? This is some toxic stuff right here, right? This is a lot of that who me kind of energy, right? Like, this is someone being like, yeah, can you, right? Can you believe, like somebody who's looking for a can you believe, right? Can you believe, right? Always looking through the observation of your reactivity to their energetic cruelty. But this is how the guides see you. Okay? The guides basically are saying you are no one's pincushion. You know? You are no one's pincushion. And that means, right? That effectively means that, like, I see somebody, right? Like that identifies situations or circumstances by which another person is potentially right, trying to work into the context of articulating upon, right, like potentially perpetually, right, like, and that's the thing about it, right, like somebody who's constantly trying to irritate you, does not know, right? They have no idea the quality and the nature of what lives or exists within you, because all they're doing is they're thinking about how they themselves, like they're telling on themselves, right? They're telling on themselves. They're telling on themselves in the observation of what they keep on trying to do. And every time, right? Every time you're able to navigate those situations, and here's the thing about it, right? It's not the fact that you have to be vulnerable. Like your vulnerability, right, is understanding it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. And somebody else is going to also observe that, right? It's like, it says to me, like, it feels like somebody, it feels like somebody that is trying to, somebody that is trying to create a fabricated story of neglect that's already failed because you're not reacting to it. You're persevering through it. The guides see it, and the guides recognize that that means that you are you are being the rock in this you are becoming, that is the sound of you becoming someone's rock, right? That is the sound of you becoming someone's rock. Bottom of the deck. Mm-hmm. Eight of, like, right, eight of swords. Let your guides do the rest. I know. I know. I know. Right? Let this serve as confirmation. Nothing about this situation. Nothing about the situation is being missed. Right? Nothing about the situation is being missed. And the fact that you are taking, right? The fact that you are taking necessary energetic steps, your observation of being able to identify and recognize upon doing everything that one can, right? Like, especially with this energy here, the way you can tell, you're doing the right thing is if you know you would rather not, but you feel like you must, right? Because that is not the space or nature, right? That is not the energy. Like, it's not, I like to point out, it's when you've navigated through something and there's nothing else you can do but the thing that you know that you must, that you know that it is the energetic right choice. So let that fortify your direction, let that fortify your intention, and here's the thing about it too, right? The guides identify and recognize the difficulty of that. And I feel like this is your guide saying that they're with you. They're with you every step of the way in terms of trying to bring balance to situations, right? Don't let another person, don't let, like, and even in the space by which you're not letting something upset you, you're just articulating, you're just showing, right? Because do you see how you've already energetically succeeded? Because you are not in the space by which you've been letting it get the best of you. You've been keeping an important history upon it, right? I keep on get like, don't get angry, get historical. Okay, don't get, yeah, I feel like you have to write that down too. Don't get angry, get historical, right? When somebody's trying to get you upset, show up with a history lesson is what I keep on seeing. Thank you so much, BB, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for tomorrow. It is 3 cards for donation of 29 or more. For non-subscribers, for those who are a super fan or paid members, it's 4 cards for 23. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through. I was reading. Also, guys, make sure to give BB some love. Readers supporting readers. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a moment to read over these comments. It's heavy energy. But here's the thing about it, right? It's heavy energy, but your guide says that your guide is an expert at lifting things. Your guide is like, I feel like if you see a guide around you being like, that's it. This, like this, oh, this, no, this thing that you can't lift. Okay. I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I know. I can see why it's so aggravating. Mm-hmm. Don't get angry. Lift, right? That's what your guide's saying. Lift. Thank you so much, Shock, for the follow. Oh, I'm sending you so much support on that journey, BB. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, BB, that's the type of stuff. I mean, there's a lot to it. Like there's a lot to navigate there, is what I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a. I mean, the short answer is trauma, you know, but there, that's something that we can always unpack in a deeper way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't have to go like that. And thank you, Sue, for the follow. If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. You're so welcome. Absolutely. And thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments. I know that these are difficult readings. How you doing today, Mia? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There you go. When I need something to move, it moves. Exactly. Exactly. I know. And that's the thing about it. Like, and you understand it too. And this is the hard part because you've got, I mean, listen, it's the trauma is not an excuse, right? That trauma is not an excuse. And you yourself are a shining example of that, right? Let that fortify you, right? I know it's not, it's harder for when we do this type of work because we understand that the trauma is, it compels us, but it's not an excuse for it, you know. Sending you so much support, dear. All right, we're going to continue right now. The next person we're reading for today is, oh, and thank you, you've got some messages of support happening over on the place where we keep the videos as well. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sending you so much support on that journey as well. I hope them best on their transition. Absolutely. All right, let's continue right now. The next person we're reading for today is Julia. Julia, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Okay. I got you, dear. Okay, I got you on the disco. Before we continue with Julia's read, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the owl. We'll do that again after the next reading. Okay. All right. And I'm going to pin up Julia here. Guys, make sure to give Julia some love. We got outside tea on this. All right. It's pretty much a dream, but okay. I've got the coconut here. We're going to do as we always do with a dream. We've got the dream coconut. All right. Okay, let's see. I had a dream where a coworker at a place I was at her apartment, and there was a demon, for lack of a better term, and it put its hands around her throat and my throat. We couldn't speak. In my head, I repeated the name of my archangel guide, and every time I said their name, a finger was removed from my throat. The guide then pushed the demon back long enough to hand me their sword. And I was like, huh, I thought you were going to take care of this. I thought you were going to take care of this demon. And he was like, no, you got it. So I was battling this demon, and then I stabbed it through the heart. And it gave me enough time to chop its head off. I chopped his head off, and its clothes fell to the bed. And I went to grab my coworker to show her, and I knew that the clothes would be gone. And when I showed her the clothes were gone, I knew the demon would be back. The dream happened like 3 weeks ago, and the guide has been bringing it up since. He wanted me to preface that in regards to a read around the move and any insight in relationality to career. Okay. Yep. So during the meditation, you saw 3 different layers of angelics and ancestors and guides protecting my energy. And on the outside layer, you saw them all okay. Yep. Holding mirrors as shields for my energy that comes towards me. Okay. Thank you so much, dear. Can I please get I'm sorry, I'm laughing so hard. The thing is about it that I'm seeing here is there's like it's interesting because like the message is coming through is like the it's so the message is coming through. I'm actually going to write down for you because um like hold on. And it's funny too because it's not a word that I would typically use, but I'm going to use it because this is a message that's coming through, and it says like yay the way walk through the valley, but don't be an idiot, right? Like he's going to say, which is it's working into right, and it's working into is working into the understanding that our ability to effectively work in alignment to what we effectively are doing doesn't require us to stay on the energetic sidelines of it, right? And I think that, I love the fact, right? I love the fact that the guide brought you this dream, right? In relationality to what you're currently experiencing, because when we look towards confirmation in relationality, like in relationality to our own space of working through things, like in relationality to our own sense of astuteness, our guides look for us. Our guides look for us to be astute, okay? Because you have to understand, right? Astute. What does astute mean? Astute is short for a student, right? Astute means it's short for a student. So this is often why you understand, like, and I think that it's really beautiful that you had that dream in relationality to a guide, because there you see, like, that is the guide articulating the nature of working in accordance to them, right? which is effectively you kind of going through an experience in the dream space. And this is you kind of working through shadow work, right? Feeling energetic frustration in terms of something happening, right? Feeling a lot of that frustration about it, right? And articulating and identifying that something needs to be done about it, right? And what do we see? What do we see that the guide is energetically communicating upon it? The guide is effectively communicating upon it by handing you their sword. And what does that effectively mean? That means that is the nature of how the guide sees the way that you collaborate with them, which is saying it's not just the work by which they're protecting you, but you are energetically working in accordance to them, which is giving you, right, which is giving you everything that you need to bring energetic healing to situations. And that's what you saw in terms, and I want to describe this, right? You weren't, right? You weren't in a situation by which you were effectively, right? You weren't in a situation, and I want you to see that. I want you to see how much of in accordance that you are effectively working through. Because even in the observation of being able to recognize and identify the nature of what it is that you're working to heal, what we see is how are you utilizing that sword in the dream space, right? Are you throwing around? Are you throwing it around willy-nilly? Like, are you throwing it around willy-nilly? Are you battling things? No. You're using it. You're using it with what you need it for, which is being able to identify and bring truth to things, right? Because that is you being able, like, and this is what we saw in terms, right? This is what we saw in terms of the guide feeling like it was around your neck, right? Which is observing situations and circumstances by which others would effectively attenuate and prefer that you stay energetically silent upon things. And so, what do we effectively see that you're doing instead? Instead of being silent, you're allowing it to effectively bring truth to things in terms of being able to identify and clarify upon what is actually happening, right? And so this is what you'll often notice with those, like those who astray from their own path will often try to contort things, right? Those who stray from their own path will often try to contort what is actually happening, or they'll try to energetically distort it. But your ability of arriving with your clarity and your truth, like, let that stand as support of the fact that you are working in accordance to that guide in the nature by which you're articulating upon your feelings, and not only articulating upon your feelings, but allowing those feelings to fortify on your energetic choices. So that is what we effectively see where you're doing, because you're working in energetic accordance to those by articulating and defining upon what you see. And even in the nature by which you're moving away from things, see all the healing, right? See all the healing that you're leaving in your wake, right? See all the healing that you're leaving in your wake, because, right, the full the full opportunity of healing is being able to articulate upon what isn't energetically helpful or what isn't energetically supportive, so that you can move in accordance and in alignment with what you know is energetically best for the self. And the thing about it is, when that guide is close to you, it's very clear that what you're effectively seeing is others energetically revealing right? It's them effectively revealing themselves, right? They're revealing they're revealing their preconceptions. They're revealing their misconceptions. They're revealing a lot of the energetic feelings. But even in the space by which they're energetically revealing them, remember, even in that revealing, they're to protection, right? Because it's the state or nature by which you understand that the quality and condition of another, right? You have to understand that the guide is seeing things through you, right? The guide is seeing things through you, and even in your ability to observe, if there's things that are energetically disappointing you're seeing, the guide's disappointed in them too, right? Like mutual disappointment is the word that we're seeing here, because, right? And I want to point out, especially, I don't know why this is coming through, um, especially if these are situations or circumstances by which energy tries to pride themselves, especially in situations by which someone is trying to pride themselves in terms of holding standards, right? Like, you have to understand, and this is what I mean about that particular guide. That particular guide is very keen on observing when another, like, the sense of justice around certain guides is very keen. Like, that's a guide that works towards balance. And the thing about balance is, when one is working towards balance, sometimes you have to see the full shape of imbalance in order to bring proper balance to things. So I want you to understand that, like, even in this, and I want to point out, your observation of those layers of energetic protection, right? I feel like that, like, that is that is a continuation, like that. There's something very important about that that we would have to work into, because you are seeing in that moment, like, the full map of all of your guides, right? Because I think I've talked about this. There's guides that work in very direct proximity to us, and then there's guides that effectively stay on the sidelines, and then there's guides that are kind of on the outside of our aura, right? And so the fact that you are observing all of those is trying to help you build confidence in relationality to what it is that you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, right? Like, it feels like that it feels like that vision was to help your own, like, to help your own sense of accomplishment in terms of what you're going through, right? It's not, and I feel like I wouldn't be surprised right now if there's a lot of energy around you that feels like it's trying to, a lot of energy around you that feels like it's trying to diminish the gravity of something happening. Like, let that serve the fact that there's something there that's very energetically important, because, and again, this is what we talk about with healthy intuition. The fact that I gave you that message before you arrived in terms of telling me that dream, right? I interpreted the dream before you gave it to me. Let that serve as confirmation as well, right? The interpretation, like, that's how important that work is, right? I look up, right? I interpreted. Look at what happened today. I interpreted the dream before you gave it to me. That's that like that's like, that is the energetic, right? That's the energetic healing that you're potentially seeing in situations or natures like that, right? It's it's energetic, it's already secure. Thank you so much for having. Mm-hmm. But that's why they wanted to put that there, because I basically gave you I gave you the interpretation before you revealed it, to show you, and that's why they were asking you to put it there, to show you, like, to show you proof about the fact that they're energetically protecting you. Thank you so much for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing everything. We are doing everything. We are doing everything. We are doing. We we are doing personal readings right now. The list is closed today, but if you want to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the first person read for. You'll also have that was the you will also have priority, which means you'll be read for before the collective. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Chella, there is no experience by which you can call me a grandmother, and I wouldn't take it as the highest of honor. Right? There's no one to be honored more on this earth than a grandmother. So thank you for the compliment. All right. I know, I love that, Al, too. Good to see you, Adam. How you been? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, sending you support on that, dear. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, let's continue. Absolutely, we were doing everything. The next person we're reading for today is Nikki. Nikki, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And hi there, dear. How are you doing today? I think you already posted it, right? Let me see. Oof. Okay. Yep. Oh. Mm-hmm. All right. And before we continue with the before we continue with your dream, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got the ram. All right, is this inside tea or outside tea? And we're doing a dream, which means we're gonna bust out the dream coconut. Oh, I like that one. Okay. All right. Outside tea, gotcha. All right. What do we have here? The other night I had a dream where I was in Palm Springs, and which is where my dad lived before they passed, but he wasn't really there. In my dream, I was staying at his house and renting it with friends. I remember we'd been there for about 4 days on vacation, and towards the end of the dream, I started wondering where he had been the whole time. I could see him in my mind as having been around or there at the beginning, but he wasn't physically present. I remember thinking, oh, maybe he's been at his wife's house, and I kept wondering where he went. I specifically remember pondering it and thinking maybe I should check his location, which is weird because I never had his location in real life. As I started to wake up, I was still thinking about it, and in that liminal space between dreaming and being awake, I genuinely thought, wait, where is my dad? I seriously wondered why I hadn't seen him in so long. And then when I fully woke up, I remembered and thought, oh, that's right. He's dead. And I started laughing. Since then, there have been very strange occurrences around the house. My Alexa turned on and started playing music in the kitchen, which is near where their urn is. Another time I was making my bed and my TV randomly turned on and went straight to Disney, went to a particular channel, even though the remote was on my nightstand and there's no way I could have triggered it. I feel like he might have been trying to reach out in some capacity, but I'm not sure why. My birthday's coming up. And multiple people in my circle have had dreams about me recently. In Ella's dream, my dad showed up, and it was a clapping bear. I don't know what he'd been trying to get across to me, or if this is happenstance. I agree that happenstance feels more like your voice here. It has that maybe a quality. Maybe it's meaningful, maybe it's nothing, and that coincidence does not quite capture. I got you, dear. All right, can I get 4 cards, please? Um, so there's something very important that we're seeing um, in terms, yeah, I know where he is. Yeah, it's very clear. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. You know, it's so the one thing you have to recognize is that, particularly for those that are in spirit, um, there are different. It's hard to explain, but there's different locations by which we can find those that are in spirit. Okay, um, there 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 are things that you can do in spirit, or things that you choose to do, and one of the things that I'm seeing here is I feel like I feel like I'm identifying that your guide, your this individual in spirit is not just working as your guide, but they're being very energetically protective of someone else energetically connected to you, is what I keep on seeing, right? Because it says to me, like when I'm seeing right now for the individual in like, this is a dream in spirit, in helping you identify and recognize where they are locationally, is potentially helping someone else going through something, right? They're lending their energy to someone connected to you that needs that support. And the thing about it is, and this is the thing, and this is why, because this is how they see you, right? This is how they see you, because you're seeing things from the perspective of the individual in spirit. You're in Palm Springs right now. Okay, you're in Palm Springs. You're fine. Why do they think you're fine? Because you've got friends around you, right? And they see somebody, right? And where are they? They know that you're safe. So they're helping somebody who's going through a situation by which they feel very isolated, right? They feel very energetically isolated. They feel like they're working through something on their own. So the guide is basically articulating to you in the dream space, right? You said, and it's interesting because you said that you kept on wondering where he goes. So they're basically identifying is, if you feel like this energy keeps going away and coming back, right? You said you were trying to check their location, but that's what I'm doing here. Right? That's what I'm doing here. I'm telling you, like, the confirmation is they're helping somebody through a journey that makes them feel very highly isolated or left out of things right now, right? So in terms of that, in relationality to you waking up, right? Like, that's why you potentially started to get those little energetic signs from them, because it feels to me like those signs are reassurance to try to reaffirm to you that just because you don't necessarily feel their energy at every moment, they're still checking on you, right? And I think it's interesting because I don't know if this is someone who like liked pranks. I don't know if this is somebody who like really like pranks when they were alive. But I feel like, I know this is going to sound a little bit interesting, but I feel like they're giving you reminders of things that feel very much like them, right? Like I keep on hearing they've got a lot of it's got a lot of them on it, right? Which is that something that has a lot of them on it might be something that they used to do when they were there. So again, the fact, like, there's something very funny about someone like putting music on next to their own urn. Like, so I keep on getting like that's right. They're like they're or effectively, or putting on something that is a childish program, as it were, right? Because because it feels to me like the guide is articulating that they're sentimental, right? They're sentimental, of like, you're always going to be little, you're always, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something about those, there's a childish quality there about them identifying that you're always their little one, right? They always see you as their as someone that that they care for, and that they're not going anywhere, even if you don't feel them around you all the time. Recognize that that's because they're helping someone energetically connected who needs them there, um, very steadily right now. They're lending their support energetically to someone. Um, Bottom of the deck on this reading, somebody. I don't know why. Every time I read into someone here, they keep on identifying and going, I know them. But they don't know them immediately, they know them tangentially, which says to me that there's some energy in spirit. And I saw this, and it has to do with the identification point. This is just to show you that those in spirit have rich lives. I remember how they said, I have to go visit a friend, right? The fact that they keep on articulating that they have to go visit a friend, like, I feel like they've given somebody, like, it feels to me like they've given somebody their, I don't know why they're articulating or defining a badge, but they're giving them like a thumbs up, which is saying like they see somebody as someone who's like good, and it's like it's not just them, but it's saying like I feel like there's something about them, like looking energetically at someone and being um like it feels like there's something happening in spirit in relationality to guides that are mutually supporting one another. And I keep on seeing that there's like, I would be very conscientious about making sure that both you make sure that not only are you identifying your dreams right now, but make sure that like your like make sure, especially in the space by which you said that um, they're showing up in others' dreams. Like, let that help you understand that that is confirmation in terms of them getting their bearings in spirit, right? They're getting better at doing something or learning how to do it or doing it in a way they haven't done it before. So I just keep on seeing there. Like, it's interesting because I feel like um the word yeah, it's, I know, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a word that they're giving me, but I need to get more clarity on it to help you understand what they're trying to do, because it's almost like them saying they don't know how to be. It's funny because they're going, they don't know how to be in two places at once yet. There's like a yet. It's funny because there's a yet there. It's like, keep on getting. the word I keep on hearing is yet, is what I keep on seeing. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings. The list is closed. I am going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was, I literally felt like, yeah, but no, I understand why, right? Because I feel like this is someone who's very, very intentional in letting you know that they're still there to protect you. Thank you for the follow, miss. Yeah, they feel them too. I mean, you know, here's the thing about it. Like when you're connected to spirit, you're like, what are you doing here? And thank you for the follow. I don't. Yeah, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as you said that, that's so wild. As soon as I said that about the pranks, you heard thunder. That's wild. They had a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Make sure to if you want to post the lyrics up. I'm not familiar with that song, but I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in your book. Yeah, like I keep on hearing. Just be sure. Yeah, just be sure that you're documenting it. Is what I keep on seeing, because I keep on like it feels to me like it feels to me like they're just trying to let you know that that they're there, and if they're not, I feel like I feel like the lyrics might tell you something about what they're doing when you can't feel them, if that makes sense. All right, I'm just looking for your book. I can't. I'm gonna put it in mine. I'll put it in yours. Yep. Hold on a minute. Mm-hmm. One moment. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. We were watching a video receiving a medal for saving. Yes. Oh, they were there getting. Oh my gosh. You see that? Absolutely. And again, confirmation. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much, Zenzel, for the follow. Gregory, thank you for the follow as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, that helps. That's interesting. Oh, there it is. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Hold on a minute. Yeah, make sure that you're writing down your dreams too, because I feel like it has something to do with that confluence we've discussed as well. All right, thank you, dear. You're so welcome, Nikki. And thank you to those who are joining us over on the place where we keep the videos. How you doing today, Ben? And welcome, Deepam. Absolutely. All right, my friends, we have reached the conclusion of our read today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving these messages. Final call for anyone who is a super fan or a paid subscriber who has not had cards drawn today. If you'd like to post your one card, I will go ahead. I'd be happy to draw a card for you. If you'd like to become a super fan or a paid member, please do so now if you'd like that one card. I got you. One card, highest priority for Nikki, please. I bet you're wondering. It's like it's the spirit going, I bet you're wondering how I did that. That's the energy go. I mean, the thing about it is like, especially if this was someone, I don't know why I keep on seeing someone who like to surprise you in such a way by which it's like it's giving me a lot of like it's giving me boo energy, but in like boo with a heart on it, right? Like somebody trying to articulate upon the fact that like they know that their boo contains an I like an I love you is what I keep on seeing, right? Yeah, because it's them like it's them being able to articulate or tell you, right? Like, and I think that even in the space by which you're noticing that those moments something sweet is occurring, is them just communicating to you that that's how much you mean to them. Yeah, you saw that. Absolutely. Those are important. I feel like those are important cards to notate. I want you to take a screen cap because we had this like that, right? Yeah, right. Like that's beautiful because you have to look at these together. And then this one here. All right, my friends, I want to thank you so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. We will be back on tomorrow evening for a short period of time where I'll be honoring one cards, and anyone who's on the list for personal, I will stress will be on for a very short time. I'll also encourage you, we've got tarot class tonight. I look forward to being able to potentially see you there. You still have time to enroll if you'd like to become a part of our tarot class. If you'd like to do so, you just need to become a paid member to my stack, and that will add you to the class tonight. We're going to be starting promptly at 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be studying the two cards of the Minor Arcana. Um, if you became if you became a paid member today or a super fam, welcome. I would encourage you to message me directly with a disco gift, and I'll be happy to send you an invite to our subscriber only disco channel. You can introduce yourself to the collective there. You'll also find in the perk section a special coupon code for that tarot class enrollment. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day today. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.